What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I'll be doing some predictions for tonight. There's two games, Friday, January 11, and then I'll be doing predictions for tomorrow. Big day. It's a Saturday. A lot of conference games going on, so it should be a good video. So first game tonight, number 22 IU travels on the road to play Maryland. It should be a really fun game. Got some good matchups in Langford versus Cohen Jr. Two really good guards, leading scorers for their team. Um, it's going to be a toss-up between those two. I also like the matchup between Morgan and Justin Smith down low for IU against the big men of Maryland, Fernando and Jalen Smith. I actually like IU to go on the road and get a big win. I think it would actually be an upset for them if they get the win, as Maryland's a top 25 team floating around there. I think Juwan Morgan's going to have a really big game, and I think he's going to prove well against Fernando and Smith, so I think IU wins that game. Next game, Purdue versus Wisconsin. A tough game to pick because two teams that can play at a high level but struggle to consistently do it. I think Carson Edwards is a great player, but I think he takes too many bad shots, and I don't think Purdue has anyone down low that can stop Ethan Happ. He's averaging 19, 10, and 5. He's also finding shooters like Trice and Davidson, who are both shooting over 42% from three, which is why I like Wisconsin. I think Happ's going to take advantage of the big guys, and they're going to be forced to double team, and he's going to make plays. Next game, number 4 Virginia at Clemson. Not an easy win for Virginia, obviously on the road. Clemson has been struggling of late. Virginia holds its opponents to 25% from three-point range. That's second best in the country. Clemson only shoots 31%, and to beat Virginia, you're going to need to hit shots. And I don't think Clemson has the ability to hit enough shots against Virginia to beat them, which is why I like Virginia in this game. Next one, Louisville at number 12 UNC. UNC's playing well recently, just won on the road at NC State. Louisville has shown inconsistency from them. They lost to Pittsburgh, but we've seen them beat Michigan State, so that team's hard to read as well. I think UNC just matches up better against them. I think they got more talent. I like the way UNC controls the pace of the game whenever they play, and I think the high-paced game favors them. And I think UNC, even without Cam Johnson, I'm not sure if he's playing, even without him, I think they get the big ACC win over Louisville. And the next game, Pitt at NC State. Pittsburgh just beat Louisville. Got a little momentum going, but NC State's coming off a loss. Two really guard-heavy teams. I like NC State's guards, though, in this game. They're more experienced, and NC State's also at home. And I think they'll do a good job bouncing back tonight or tomorrow. So I think NC State's going to get that win at home. Next game, Kansas State at Iowa State. I believe Dean Wade is still out, which has been hurting Kansas State all year. Iowa State, they're too good of an offensive team. I think they'll win at home against Kansas State. I think Jacobson will do a good job locking down Xavier Sneed of Kansas State. And Mario Shayok and Wigington and Tucker of Iowa State, just all great guards, and I think they're going to really take advantage of Kansas State's weaker guard play. Next game, Providence at Georgetown. Both are coming off 2 straight losses. Georgetown's back at home, though. Govan and Watson is going to be a good matchup for them. Two big guys going at it. Jesse Govan's coming off a 27-point night. Shot like 11 of 16 from the field. So I like Georgetown in this game at home. I think they're just going to be able to bounce back, especially since they're at home. I think Akinjo will finally step up. He hasn't been playing particularly well. And look for LeBlanc to have a big game as well. But Diallo of Providence is a good player as well, so he could prove fatal for Georgetown, but I still like Georgetown in this game. Next game, BC, Boston College at Notre Dame. Two teams that are just having mediocre years. Boston College shooting 30% from 3. Kai Bowman and Winston Tabbs, though, are a legit backcourt. Kai Bowman, I think, will see his three-point percentage go up. I think Boston College goes on the road and gets a win over a very young Notre Dame team, like I've talked about. It's the youngest team in Mike Brey's coaching career. And Notre Dame just struggles to have consistent offense. I think Boston College actually shoots above their season average this year. I think they start to get back on track. I think Jordan Chapman's going to have a big game for Boston College, so I like Boston College on the road in that game. Next game, Oklahoma State versus West Virginia. West Virginia and Oklahoma State, two mid-level teams, lower end of the Big 12. I like West Virginia at home. They are a good rebounding team. They have 5 guys in double digits. But Oklahoma State just struggles to rebound and with turnovers, which is why I like West Virginia at home in that game, especially to out-rebound them. And that's all I see in that game. Not very efficient offensive team, so it's going to be a defensive battle. But I think West Virginia with Konate down low have the advantage there. Next game, Rutgers at Minnesota. Rutgers just beat Ohio State. They were at home. Ohio State shot very poorly from the field, but a win nonetheless. But I like Minnesota in this way. In this game, Rutgers only shoot 31% from 3, 41% from the field, and 64% from the line. Those are not numbers that are going to get you Big Ten wins on the road, especially against a good team in Minnesota. Jordan Murphy, I think he's going to win that battle against Omarui, the big man of the Rutgers, who's averaging 14.6. But I think Jordan Murphy's going to win that matchup. And I think Amir Coffey will have a big game. I'm not sure there's anyone on Rutgers who can lock him down. So next game, Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Ole Miss is rolling well right now. Just beat Auburn by 15 the other night at home. Mississippi State, a good team. I think they're coming off a loss. But they shoot 39% from 3. So I like them in this game. A big matchup, though, in Tyree versus Weatherspoon, both averaging over 17 points per game. Veteran guards for their team. That'll be a really fun matchup to watch. A good SEC game, but I still like Mississippi State at home against an Ole Miss team that still hasn't proved too much to me. So I like Mississippi State in this game. Next game, number 8, Texas Tech at Texas. I actually like Texas in this game. Texas Tech's offense has been struggling. Obviously, they rely on a lot on their defense, but their offense on the road has been very shaky. So I like Texas in this game. I think they're going to shoot really well. I think Shaka Smart's going to have a good game plan for them, and I think they're going to come out and win this game. Look for Coleman to step up. I think he could have a big game for them against Moretti of Texas Tech. I think it'll be a good matchup. And also look for Febres to have a big shooting night. He's their best shooter of Texas, so I think he could have a big night for them. Next game, a really fun game. Seton Hall at Marquette. Marcus Howard coming off a 53-point game the other night. He's facing off against Miles Powell, averages almost 23 points per game of Seton Hall. I think the confidence for Marcus Howard and Marquette is too much right now, which is why I like them on the road, especially with the Hauser brothers playing well as well. So I like Marquette at home over Seton Hall. Next game, another good game, 25 TCU at 23 Oklahoma, both coming off losses. I believe Jalen Fisher is still out for TCU, did not play the other night against Kansas. I think Oklahoma's Christian James is going to have a big night. TCU struggles to rebound, so I think Oklahoma will win that battle, and that'll ultimately be the big factor in that game, which gets Oklahoma the win. Next game, Ohio State at Iowa. Ohio State coming off the loss against Rutgers. I think Wesson will win that battle against Tyler Cook. I'm not sure Cook will guard him, but those are the two high scores for the team. Wesson is really good down low. He struggled to shoot the ball the other night, but I think he'll have a big game on the road at Iowa. Should be a fun game. And I think C.J. Jackson will finally start to play more like himself, which is why I like Ohio State to get the win on the road at Iowa. Next game, number 7, Kansas at Baylor. Baylor just beat Iowa State at home, but I still like Kansas in this game. Makai Mason of Baylor could be a problem for Kansas, but I still like Kansas to get the win in this game. Vic, he has some maturity on that team, and I also really like the player Devon Dotson. He doesn't look like a freshman at point guard, um, and I don't think Baylor has anyone who can guard Lawson and Azubuike. Azubuike has to stay out of foul trouble though. If he can do that, I think they'll get the win on the road at Baylor. Next game, Georgia versus Auburn. Auburn will, I think they'll bounce back. They came off a loss the other night. I think Brown and Harper will, their guards, will have a big night for them. They're back at home against a weaker Georgia team. I like Auburn in this game. Next game, number 3, Tennessee at Florida. A very tough test for Tennessee. Florida's not a very efficient offensive team, but a decent team. Kevon Allen, obviously a problem. He's a senior for them. Knows a lot about winning on the big stage. Florida does not shoot well from 3, though, and I don't think they have anyone who could match up with Williams and Alexander down low. I think those guys will have a heyday down there, and I think they're going to struggle to keep those guys off the offensive glass, which is why I like Tennessee on the road in that game. Next, in the final game, Vanderbilt at Kentucky. Vanderbilt has not been the same without Darius Garland. They're 5-5 when he doesn't play the whole game. Kentucky is just too talented, and I think we'll start to see Kentucky continue to get better. Had that setback against Alabama, but before that we're playing well, and since that I've been playing well, so I like Kentucky in that game. Thanks for watching, guys. Like this video, comment down below if you have any matchups you want me to hit on next week. A lot of big games coming up next week that I know of. So thanks for watching, and comment and subscribe down below. Thanks.